the last time. So here you'll see you don't have a lot of priceless items. You only have 8. Yeah, but most venues will have 3 to 500 items here. So yours is easy to manage. If I want to edit that item there, I can just click on the pencil and I can edit. So there's the description name, the price. I can have the full package in there. And if you want to add something to your package, you just start typing in there, enter, and then type another one. If you don't want the item anymore, just click on the little cross. If you want to add a resource to it, let's say it's venue hire boardroom, you can link the boardroom to it. And you can link the banquet hall. We'll do one for that. And if you're going to put it online and you have an extra add-on list, you can also say, if people select this online, please add it to that price list group list. So that's a normal, you don't have a venue hire here, only the LAPA. So let's say, for instance, this LAPA. So you've got LAPA, venue hire, evening event, 4.5. Now, what do you call that LAPA? This one, LAPA hire. So you can actually connect the resource. If they select this from the price list, it will immediately also book out the LAPA for them. Most venues don't like to add a resource in here because if they quote, they don't keep the resource allocated to the client. Then I see they've got it here ticked wrong. So this means our venue.com, you don't have it. If you sync it with our venue.com, online extra with accommodation, online extra with activities, online extra with an event ticket. So this is not going to work for you guys, okay? The way you've got it. So it doesn't book out not one of your items books out a resource, but you can have it where you can say venue hire. Let's do this one. And I'm going to say LAPA. Now, if I go to a booking, and I go and I want to now do that LAPA. And I say venue hire. Do you see now it books out the LAPA immediately the minute I selected it. And now I can change the times. And I'm going to say they're going to use it from that date and that date up until 5 today. And what is the shape they're going to sit in? They're going to sit in U shape. 1. And there's the unit price, save. So from the price list item, you can already allocate the LAPA on the invoice order quote. So that's what, if you add a resource to the price list item, it will immediately book out that resource as well. Let's say, for instance, this is a quote. I don't want to book out this resource. I can also just take the resource out. Then it's not booked out. Okay, do you understand that, Brendan?
Yeah, that's good. Thank you.
Okay. So you can decide from a venue perspective, we leave them to decide how they want to work. Do they want to first do the quote without the resource and then go back and then allocate the resource when the client confirms? Or immediately when I select it from the price list, it must select the resource applicable to this description. And then also what you can do is, if you do a quote, you can remove the resource. So you want me to disconnect the resource here first? Brendan?
Sorry, guys, my Wi-Fi is playing a little bit up here.
Okay,
Give
would
me.
you like me to disconnect the resource here now first? And then you can go back, first explain it to Lisa and all the other people that you've added the resource now. And now when they're selected from the price list, the resource will be booked out. If they don't want it booked out, they can just remove it. Or do you want me to just disconnect it for now? And you can decide later how you want to work.
I think the way we're doing it now seems to be working.
Okay.
So
I don't want to, they're used to it now. So I don't want
Yeah.
to confuse them. So with any of your venue hire, let's say your venue hire for your banquet hall, you can create one and you can set it up and then I can select the resource immediately from the price list. Now, here also you can tick one by one and you can say action, delete selected. Okay. But if you do have more items later, I don't like working from here. It's too much work. I like to go action, export to Excel. I don't know if you like Excel more. I just prefer to work in Excel. So there's your whole price list. The system will allocate the item to the price list. Now let's say, for instance, I want to add something else. And let's do Coke, 340 ml. And it's, let's say, $55. It's not as an add-on extra. It's not available online. Okay. So if it says true, it means it's available as an extra online. So there is accommodation extra online, activity extra online, and events online. There's that whole package, those blue blocks that I showed you. You can even put a package on. Now I always make this column just small because it is quite big. Okay. And then there's your department splits now. So if I, let's say, for instance, my Coke goes under food and bev, and what's the value? It's 35 Rand. So you can even do your department splits in here. Okay. So now I don't allocate the ID. The system will automatically allocate the ID. Let's do water. Let's say $20. And that also goes to food and bev and $20. Okay, so now I've added, you can change your prices, etc. Then you go and save your document. Okay, you go back to Q2B, action, upload. You go and select your spreadsheet that you've worked in. Where is Ilita? There you go. Upload. And there's your new items. And now the splits is already in. 35 Rand goes towards food and beverage. So you can either work in Excel or you can come here on the breakdown and you can go action, create new, and do the split. So,
Yeah.
now if I want to delete these two items, action, delete selected, and then it's gone. So all these little packages, half-day conference package needs to have a breakdown in the department split. So you can go action, create new, and half-day conference. So out of that 320, how much is going to food and bev?
For the half-day conference,
Yeah,
I think it's 120. But I'll just
120.
check those amounts.
Okay, so let's say 120. Okay, and then there's 200 left. So where does the other goes towards?
Venue hire,
Let's
yeah.
let's say venue hire. How much do you think more or less is that? 100.
Yeah, you can put that in for now.
So I'm
I
going
think
to take it out just to show you. So it shows
mm,
you now you've got 220. Then you can say action, create new. Housekeeping is getting the 20 rand from this per person, right? And then you can also say equipment rental is getting 10 rand. Some venues even break it down to stationery.
mm,
Let's say another 50 bucks here. And you say, okay, equipment rental doesn't get 10 rand. Click on the pencil, it gets 50 rand. And
mm,
it will only accept it if these two prices, the breakdown and the
mm,
price on the price list, match. And that is what I explained to you in your management report. That's like unallocated
mm,
revenue. This is why it shows unallocated, because there's no breakdown of this revenue here. So,
yeah.
so you can go and do that. Then your management reports will be much easier also, and you will be able to see where did the money go towards. And that is what you need to do. You can either do it in Excel or you can do it here in Q2B directly and break down this 420 and your 24 hours, break down this. So let's say here we've said accommodation gets 900, food and bev gets that, and venue hire gets 100 rand. Okay, so there's that breakdown. So these two still needs a breakdown. Then bride dinner per person, that all goes to food and bev. Okay. So you can either do one by one here and see how it all. You can go to departments. And action, find missing price list items. Then it's going to show you all the ones that's not been allocated yet. So
Mm,
here's a 1,750 price that somebody added, but there was no breakdown to it.
okay.
So you can go and break it down there, or most clients like to break it down in the price list or in Excel.
Yep.
So there's that one. That one is the single sleeping one. It's not don't have any department split yet. No.
Mm,
Okay, easy. You can export it. You can add new items, import it again, upload it again. You can get a template there, but you've already got one, so you can always just export. And you can also create one by one item here. And there's a little bit of difference between them. There's your packages. Okay. And let's say, for instance, sound hire per day. You've got a PA system. I don't know if you have one. What do you call it? Sound system. So you can link the sound system. Immediately when I select that, the same with venue hire, it will book out the sound system as well. So you can link a resource immediately to the description. Pricelist group is all your add-on extras that you sell online. It can combine it to that list. Subgroup, if you have a lot of stuff that you want to sell online, a lot of venues break it down. Let's say from our kitchen, so they have welcoming baskets or biltong baskets, etc. And then from our housekeeping, like the romantic turndowns. Then you will have your add-on price list. You'll have a subgroup that says housekeeping or from our housekeeping, or you will have from our kitchen, and that will be a subgroup online to say you can order or you can have all these add-on extras. It's just to break it down if they have a lot. These online ticks means If you wanted extra with accommodation, activities, and or just events, it's tax exempt. And then you can also select with which rooms. Okay, so if do you understand it, or would you like me to go into my demo to show you?
No, that's fine.
Okay, don't think you'll use it because you don't sell a lot of stuff online.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can make descriptions which will be much better for your people. To say venue hire, your banquet hall, and then add it in your already. And then they don't have to type it every time they do a quote. Because now on a booking, they can only see those items there. So they every time they want to add something on, they go here, and these are the only items they've got. So let's say, for instance, they want to book out this banquet hall. Then it will just take that banquet hall. Then they have to come here and they say venue hire, banquet hall. And now they still have to put a price in to say, okay, it is now 5,000 Rand. And which department must it go towards? Venue hire. So it's a lot more work. If they can select it from here, it's going to be much easier for them.
Mm.
Okay. So that's maybe what you can consider doing for your venue hires. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, and then did we do the function sheets?
No.
Not. Okay. So function sheets. Any questions on price list? I think it's
No, not from
easy.
my side.
Okay. So function sheet, you've got this one conference. I think that's where we started setting it up.
Mm.
Conference, and you can say create new item. So this is your question number 1. What will your first guest arrive? You can also say, so I always like to start on 10s and 20s. Okay. Because then I can make questions in between.
Yep.
So what you can do now is how we changed it as well. You can say number 1 is morning session. You can make it bold and you can say this is a header. Right, then it's on top. Then your first question is, what time will you start your conference? What time will you have to serve your lunch? So there you can put a lunch in between, or afternoon session, or mid-morning, mid-afternoon, tea break,
Yeah.
etc. But you can put a heading in as well now, and then questions underneath it. And if you start doing this, Brendan, you'll see with your functions, it just makes it so much easier. You can
Mm.
send this function sheet to a client. You can also freeze it and say 7 days before the event, they cannot make changes to the function sheet anymore, and so save. If you want to view what your function sheet is going to look like, just click on the little eye, and this is what it will look like. So it will add all the reservation details in this block here. And then it will have your header, all the questions, your time, and notes that the customer made for you.
Okay. Would they have to
Huh.
make those notes and then scan it and send it to us, or would there
No,
be
so it works. It works online. So let me go back to my booking. I'm going to leave it open now. So here, if I've got this now, do you see your function sheet?
Yeah.
So let's say this is a conference. Now, I've got the conference in here. and save. I select the conference function sheet, and you can set up a half day one, full day one, 24-hour, a wedding one, etc. Okay, so then now I want to send the function sheet to the client, mail, function sheet. Okay, so then they receive it in their mailbox. And it looks like this for them. Okay, we attach a PDF and your note in your menu setup where I said that's the message that goes out if you mail a function sheet. It says, please find attached your function sheet. You can even put your event name in here and then they can fill it in online. And online, let me just log off here. Online, they will experience it this way. So they will click on the link. It will go to their event and then now they can answer all your questions. What time will you, blah, blah, blah. And I say 8:15. They can leave notes in here for you and I can say, please note me all hello. Any notes, they can leave a Bible in here for you if they want to. And then all your questions they can answer here.
Okay.
With any notes. Okay? And then I just say submit, and then submit it successfully. You can close this window now. So they get it very smooth out of the Q2B. Okay.
Yeah. And then how
And
would
then
we know how would we know when they're
so you will get a notification to your email to say a function sheet has been completed. Okay. So now, if I go back to my reservation now, okay, so I completed it online. Now, before the event, you can print the function sheet, and that's your questions and answers. There's all my times and notes in. Okay. And you can also use the extended function sheet, which is my preference. I like this one because it gives you all the details about the booking. It tells you if what amount did the customer pay, what's outstanding, the morning session, afternoon session, evening session, dinner, everything you can have in here. And then all the items that they've booked and paid for. If you have a menu on here and you selected a menu, it will even show you the menu in here.
So there's no way we can put like almost like a drop down option of we've got 3 options for lunch, choose one of them.
Yeah, so yes, so what some of our venues do in that function sheet, they will do this. So once you start doing, I would start from scratch if I'm you and just make this one inactive, or you can come back here and you can edit each one. Okay, and just change the questions. So let's say, for instance, you want to add another question, and you can say lunch options. Not a description in there, in red, crazy. Let's say it's 40 lunch options. And you can, of course, make it bold, all the other functions that you used, and say this is a header. Save. And then the next one is 41 or 50. Please note we offer the following options. Okay, and then they have menu 1 or whatever you want to call it. And then they list the items. Let's say bride pack, pop, toast, etc., etc. That. And then they have maybe menu 2, or if your menu's got names, you can also type it in like that. or you can do it underneath each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then they will maybe use bullets, or they will use numbering. For bullets, okay, I'll include that. Okay, and then you can also say here, please right, in note section which menu you prefer. So they give it to them like that. Then if I go back now and I view it, so in the notes section, they will have all your, if it's listed underneath each other or whatever, and then they will say we select menu 1. And then
Okay.
they can also make notes in here. So a lot of venues also add in here, please list all your special requirements, please list your menu selected. And
Yeah.
you will have it in this block here. So I just want to show you one of our venues, and I know she won't mind. They use it intense, so I always use them as a
Henriette, sorry, I'm just gonna log on and off. For some reason, my computer keeps making a noise as if the Teams connection isn't working. So I'm just gonna log on and off.
okay. The thing is with function sheets, Brenda, it just saves you all those emails. We don't want broccoli anymore, we want beans. So they can go back the whole time to that link, and they can make changes whenever they want to. 7 or 14 days, whatever your freeze period is, they want to go online and make changes. The system will just say to them, unfortunately, you cannot make changes to this function sheet anymore. Please contact the venue.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that'll help just in because we've actually come across now recently where we had a function where it's back and forth the whole time.
Yes,
And then
it
the
drives you
email chain,
crazy. Yeah,
the email chain becomes 25 emails long and then you miss something somewhere.
yeah. So I always show this because they use it intensely.
Yeah.
But look at this wedding one. So they've got general information that they want on the function sheet, total guests, bridal party information, even when are they getting food, what are they wanting in the room. Can you see how intensely they set up their function
Yeah.
sheet for weddings? The whole wedding party is on this function sheet. What happens, when it happens, where must the PA system, where must the flowers be moved, when is the cake going to get cut? All of it.
Sure.
They do it intensely. Even the day after the wedding, the morning breakfast or the Sunday breakfast, all that stuff, they add it on.
Okay.
So you can see how intensely you can make it.
Yeah.
Or but you can ask all those, like you say, they come back and they say, no, I don't want this anymore. Can I have, now I want welcoming drinks. Then you have to go back and update it the whole time and make changes and keep it somewhere on record so that you don't forget about it. And, and if they make changes to it online, immediately it updates in the booking. Okay, so you can see how they run it. And I
Yeah.
always use these because they're quite intense. There's some of them that also use it like that, but I like these. So even if I go back now to that email and I make more changes and I say, yeah, we would like to have lots of green beans. And I go and make more changes and I say, menu 1. Please note we have to kosher to allow blah blah blah. and they do all of this and they submit. Yeah. So they can go back and back and back and back and make all the changes. And every time they come back to you and say, I want to change it to um, green beans or broccoli, you can just say to them, I'm going to send you the function sheet again. Please update it.
Mm.
And then you just go to the booking and you mail them the function sheet again.
Mm.
And they can
Yeah,
go and
and
update it if they lose the link. That's
I see here with the every time
no,
you've made a change, I get an email saying that
yeah,
the function sheet has been changed. It's actually
yes.
very quick.
Okay, so look at this. Now I even went back afterwards and I made changes to it. And there's all my changes.
Mm.
So on the day of the event, you don't have any. There's all the final decisions, times, where does she want what, etc.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and you would know your venue, you know, what do they normally irritate you with? The seating arrangement, the menu, the special arrangements, you know.
Mm.
Um, I've got like that templates for that we used for like that for later. I can always send it to you and you can go and set it up on your own requirements for your own venue.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
Okay. But that's it will save so much time for you guys
Yeah.
of letting and allowing the customer to make changes as you go along. And the day before the event, you print the function sheet and there's all the final decisions, or a week before, whatever.
Mm.
Okay. So that is the function sheets, and you can go and set up unlimited ones and multiple ones.
Yeah.
Okay. If you don't want to use it anymore, just go and make it inactive, and then the users won't be able to select it anymore. And you can also just edit these ones if you want to. And to start new ones, action, create new. You give your function sheet a name, freeze period, create, and then it's going to come back to this list. You click on the pencil, and then you can start with your questions. Now, I normally do it in 10s and 20s and 30s. And then because if I forgot something in the morning session, I can easily go and make it point number 9, move it back up. And once I've set up the full function sheet, I will go and change the numbering.
Yep.
So, but if you need more help with that, you're welcome to ask me. Okay.
Yeah.
Then your feedback profiles. I love function sheets. I wish I had it when I was working at venues. We used to have a file, and every time they phone and make a change, we used to go and file the change. Before the event, you run around like a loony. What was the last decision? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
No,
here's your here's your feedback you've currently got in your system. So you've got accommodation feedback, conference feedback, events, and weddings.
Mm.
And these are the questions you're asking. If you don't want to ask the question anymore, you can click on the dustbin. It makes a little arrow. And if you want to ask it again, you can just click on the little arrow again and say yes, and it will restore the question. So the feedback is also linked to the revenue groups. So if I click on the revenue group, you will see accommodation revenue. What feedback must it use? It must use that feedback.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. For conference, which questions must it use? Conference. Okay, so each event can have their own little questionnaire that's going out, and it's linked to the revenue group. The same will apply to CRM profiles. You set up your CRM, you can say for accommodation, use this CRM and use that feedback. And you know where's your main, where you select your main in the booking. And you
And that
can
also
say,
means,
this is my revenue group and it's a conference. And this is where it will be. Now it will
Link.
send that questions linked to that revenue group, and it will use that CRM linked to this
Hmm.
revenue group. So,
And does it automatically send it?
yeah, so
Every
12 hours after departure, it automatically goes out to the customers. If you use the RSVP link as well for a big group, we've got an automated registration link for conferences, weddings that you can use. If you have all 100 guests in here, it will go to all 100 guests. And you can get feedback from all the 100 guests. Go. If you only have this customer, it will only go to this customer, and you only have their details. This customer will receive the feedback.
And
And
that's
12 hours after departure.
And that's for all bookings, eh? Not just direct bookings that we've entered into QTV. That'll be whatever email address
All
is there, it'll send it.
bookings. Yeah,
Okay.
all bookings. And then you can also draw a report. So let's go to feedback analysis. So you can say, I want to see from the 1st up until today on my accommodation feedback. Okay, so then from the 1st to the 25th, so one is horrible. We send it to them in smiley faces. I don't know if you've seen it before in the user training, but it's a sad face, okay face, and a very smiley face. So you get a lot of fives, which is good. It becomes hyperlinks. If you want to see who gave you a 4 rating, you can click on the one and you can see exactly who rated you a 4. So,
And can they add like feedback in terms of any comments and stuff like that?
yes, I'm going to show that to you now. So all these ones, if you want to see who gave you the 7 good ratings, there's your questions, there's your ratings. So your ratings look very good. Okay, and there's all the guests that completed their feedback from the 1st up until the 30th, the dates that you selected, and there's all their notes.
Okay.
So, and if you want to see this L skipper, if you want to see all the answers that she's given you, there's all the answers. So for each question, she's given you a 5, which is good. So, and you can also, so there's all the notes that I've written to you. It was good, it was nice, it was horrible, the pillows are too hard, the pillows are too soft, everything will be in here. You can also export it to Excel because some of our venues also use it for hearings and staff meetings.
Okay.
So we also have it separate for you, feedback notes. So you can also export your feedback notes. Just the bookings that made notes will be in here. So, so that's how your feedback works. But yours, I can see it's running and you're getting feedback from it. What I always tell venues, don't make it more than 3 questions because if people open a feedback and they see 10 questions, then they just opt out and they go and they don't complete it. If they only see 2 or 3 questions, they will rather answer it for you. So, and you can, on any profile, any of these, you can pull your report to see your conference people, events people, wedding people, accommodation, what did they give you and what rating did they give you. You can break it down quite intensely.
Yeah.
Venue link, I don't think you just link with our demo. So you can link with any other venue. You can also search for a venue. And you can say, I want everybody in the Western Cape. And I was going to say Knysna, search. So there's everybody that falls under Knysna. So you can call them, you can connect with them, and you can do bookings for each other. So any overflow, I think you're the only one in Great Brakrivier, if I can remember correctly. But you can link up with any other venues in your venue link, and then you can decide. But it's a mutual relationship, you have to contact the contact there and say, let's link up in Q2B. I'll send all my overflow to you and you can send all your overflow to me. Okay. Then in venue link, you will be able, in the reservations, if I go and link with you now, you will be able to do accommodation, activities, and ticket bookings for each other. So currently we just linked you, and it was probably during training, we just linked you to my demo site.
Yeah.
And it's easy to do it. You go action, create new, or you can search. And you can say, for this venue, and you can search here for them. Anybody that started opening up a link will be on this list. You can say you can do accommodation bookings, activity and ticket bookings, and I'll give you a 5% commission on my standard rate. Or fixed amount, or cost minus a percentage, cost minus a fixed. They can even set up arrangements, and I'll give you 10 rand for every activity you do for me, and I'll give you a 5 rand for every event ticket you sell for me. So you can even set up a relationship with each other with a commission structure. And of course, then there's the full report that you can pull and see who gave you bookings and who do you owe commission and which ones do you made bookings for you and which ones made bookings for. Okay. So that's what is when your link is all about. Question is your check-in app? I don't know, I can't remember if we set up your check-in app.
No, we haven't.
No, there's no questions in, but you can send us questions, or I can set it up with the standard questions and then a background image. Do you know how it works, Brendan?
Not really, but is this where people can check in on an app?
Yeah. So let me just quickly show you. Because this also, why is it awesome? Your indemnity is saved on the booking, so you can always find it and retrieve it again. And then secondly, is you accumulate all the guest details in your database. Okay. So let's say I'm going to book this room 1 for 2 nights in my demo now. And I'm going to book it for 2 guests. See, there's all my add-ons now. I can show you the sub-headings from our kitchen, housekeeping, and I just left these ones under other. So any add-ons that you want them to add on. But you use the profit link, profit room link online. Yep. Okay, so now you can either put a QR code up in your venue. Most venues laminated, some engraved it on a stainless steel, and people arrive there. And your logo is here, and they take their own phone and they scan this QR code, and then they go to the check-in app, and the check-in app looks like this. Some of our venues also have what is today? It's the 28th. Now, hopefully some of my students didn't disconnect my room 1. Let me just check if I do room 2 or 3 or sorry, everybody plays around on this one. So some of our venues have a tablet at the front and people can check in with the tablet or the QR code, and they check in with the QR code. Okay. So somebody disconnected my room one. So there's Indriette Krause now. So some of our venues have a touch screen in the front. They come, they select their own name, and then they can complete the information. And these buttons, we can make it your own. You can decide. You can capture the date of birth for you. You can have any questions where they must select something. These are just examples. Then they can see your full indemnity. They can agree to it. It can take photos of IDs or license cards, whatever. They can have signatures and done and finish. And it will show you 1 out of the 2 guests booked in. So if I do the next one, and let's say this is Yanni Botha. And he's a male. Doesn't want to give me the date of birth. Doesn't want to have breakfast. And he says, I don't agree. It will now I can see already they've changed it. Then it goes back to a page where it says, if you do not agree, we can unfortunately not host you. So we force them to agree to the indemnity. So I'll have to go and fix all of this. You can see there's a few people I need to block on my demo. And he can sign and off you go. And if everybody checked in for the day, your list will be empty.
Okay.
We also offer a pre-check-in link. So if you set it up in your CRM, let's say 24 hours before arrival, okay? You can set up your CRM link to also send them the pre-check-in link. Yeah, electronic pre-check-in link. So 24 hours, send them the link, and there's the link, and then they can click on the link and they can check in before they even arrive. Complete all the information and questions and answers. So there's multiple ways you can leave them to check in. But what makes it awesome is you save everything on the booking. I think this is the one I use. If I want to go and check all the guests, it was the first booking. The one I booked out room 4. That's fine. So you don't, let's say for instance, in 3 months' time, we had something like that the other day, where a client went back to the venue and said, listen, when I was with you, spider bit me and I had all these costs, and now you're going to reimburse me. So all they had to do, go and find their booking, and there's all their details, and there's the signed indemnity. Send the signed indemnity to the lawyer, and so there's the customer signed indemnity on that date. They don't have to go through files looking for the customer's indemnity, trying to find it. They just have to go to the booking and find the signed copy. So, even if you take pictures of their ID, all the questions and answers, it will be here. And if you say show, it will show you their ID document. So the check-in questionnaire can actually do a lot for you. It can take photos for you. It can capture information. They can fill in text and all of that. But why is it important to do it? We capture all those details for you for future marketing. So, I just want to link it again before I forget. Okay, and we link your rooms to the check-in questionnaire. So that's basic questions that you can ask. You can also set up multiple ones. For conference ones, you want different information. For just accommodation for your wedding, you want maybe a different check-in app. You can set up different check-in apps. So,
Yep.
Quite a nice tool, and also nice to have it not on paper. Okay, so that's what questionnaires are all about. You don't use the Gate app,
No.
right? But you can add your Gate reasons in the venue setup, where you can have delivery, conference, restaurant, and then also if you use the Gate app, we capture everybody that comes through your Gate into your database. Then departments. So there's all your department splits that you've set up. You want to change, if you want to create more, create new. You don't have a point of sale linked to Q2BA.
No.
Okay. So you can also throw these into different point of sale departments, point of sale groups. So let's say breakfast group, lunch group, dinner groups, etc., etc. Because some companies will say it's bed and breakfast, but all those food items that's in bed and breakfast group food will only fall into that group section, and I will not be able to, for instance, order steak for breakfast. Yeah. And then your priceless items, I showed you that. These are all the ones that's not got any department allocations yet. Okay, so let's go to channel manager quickly. We still have half an hour. So these are the channels that you currently link to. Okay, you link to booking.com. This is the standard rate, and you're using your rates from categories. Okay. So you don't have to do anything from here unless you want to switch it off.
Mm-hmm.
You can make it inactive. Okay. So there's your booking.com. There's your property ID. It's in ZAR, rates from categories, and Q2B updates the rates and minimum stays to them. Okay. If you don't want to use them anymore, just make it inactive.
Mm-hmm.
So that's basically what you need to know there. There's nothing else you can do in there. And there's profit room as well. And we just put the profit room link in there. So if we want to go to your setup in profit room, our view, partnership view, it's not the same as yours. We can see if there's any errors and if it's working and mapping, what is mapped, etc.
Okay.
Okay, so there's all your rooms. So the secret about this, I think you've learned it the hard way, is if you go and add something in profit room or a new room or put it under a new category, you have to do the same in Q2B.
Yeah.
You set up by categories. So you go by categories, and then there's all your categories that's set up for booking.com, Expedia, and profit room. Now, if you just want to see booking.com, you can do this, and there's all your categories set up for booking.com. That's the rate we're currently pushing towards them. There's the OTA category that they've given us. That's their number. And there's the number of rooms in each category. So if you do change something and you say in booking.com, you go and make a large family room, there's 2 of them, you have to come and edit Q2B as well with 2. Okay.
Yeah.
And you can see all the active and inactive ones. And then also what I want to show you. And you can say, I want to go to categories and I want to retrieve the categories. And I want to retrieve the categories from booking.com. And this is how we do the mapping. I think you've seen this screen before.
Yep.
There's all your OTAs. There's the rates. There's the OTA policies. We just say general because we don't pull the policy in here. And then we just map the category and which one belongs to which one. There's the little code at the back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And there's the rate plans. If we cannot, like profit room, manage some of your rates and you set it up in profit room like specials, we'll tick it as not manageable. Then what it means, we'll get the rate from profit room. So but we push the rates towards OTAs, Booking.com and Expedia. Profit Room looks a bit different.
Yeah.
So let's go action, retrieve categories. Profit Room, get categories. So all the ones that we cannot manage or we don't have rights for it in, we will tick it as not manageable. So if you go and set up specials or um, return customer specials in Profit Room, and we pull it in here, and we'll just go and mark it, and you've set up the right in Profit Room and not in Q2B, we'll go and tick it as not manageable, meaning Profit Room will send us that right. Okay. But I think you've had enough of this OTAs already.
Yeah, no, I think I'm pretty well versed now. That works.
Okay. So you won't go resources because you set up our categories. There's
Yep.
all your reservations that you get through all the OTAs. So if you want to see all your Expedia reservations, if you want to see all your Booking.com reservations, okay, and if you want to see all your Profit Room reservations, there's all your Profit Room reservations.
Yeah, and that's also where you update the availability and rates.
Yes.
Sorry, a question maybe while you're on the screen. Do you update availability first or rates first?
I always do rates first and last availability.
Okay.
Because if you do update availability and there's no rates in, it will also not update. So do rates and then availability.
So availability last.
Yeah. So with Expedia and Booking.com, they allow you to do 18 months upfront.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can go 18 months upfront and you can say, I want to push the rates, apply and update availability and update rates. But Profit Room, you can only do, Johan says 3 months, but I've tried 3 months before and then it will throw me out.
Yep.
So Profit Room, you can only push 2 months at a time, rates towards their server. So, rates and availability. So Johan says 3 months. I've tried it with 3 months and then I get an error. So that's the only one that you can only push 2 months at a time. They're all working on it. We had a meeting about it the other day. I don't know if they're going to change it.
Is it quite a complicated thing to change, just to add a few months on?
It's absolutely pushing towards their server. So it depends on how much information their server will accept from us at once.
Okay.
You can see it's very slow. If you do Booking.com or Expedia, you'll see it's much quicker.
Yeah, Profit Room stuff does take a while to load.
Yeah. So if you, let's say for instance, you go and you change your rate, okay, for next year, you don't have to wait for us or ask us. You go, you generate your new rate for the OTAs for next year. You come here, do reservations, and you update your rates and update availability. And the rates pushes through to the OTAs.
Yeah.
Anytime that you want to go and change it, you can go and change it. I'm just going to opt out of this one. So, yeah, we had a meeting with the technical team, and Michael and all of them were in the meeting. So there's a few changes they need to make, but it's because we're pushing all the data towards them. They don't want to accept so many data at once. Okay.
Yeah.
You don't have STR integration, eh?
So I'm not actually too sure what that is.
The STR, it's maybe something you can consider doing it. They've got a free integration for Q2B clients where you can get a report every day to see in your area what is the average occupancy percentage in your area? They send you a report, you can pull the reports out of Q2B, and then you can see in your area, what is the average occupancy percentage? I see when I'm on Teams and I go to the website, it won't allow me to show it on Teams. It's probably some. Okay. But STR, if you want to know more about it, I can also put you in contact with Costa,
Okay.
which is our account executive. And you also don't have a GODA.
No.
You
Sorry,
don't
Annie, I
have.
just want to go back to STR there. I think that can be a useful tool, but I would like to know just what is actually the data they're going to display to us in our area, as you said.
Yeah, so they're only for
in
the
Grootbrak.
the free version, they only display the occupancy percentage in your area. Okay?
Yeah, no, so I think my question is more, like I said, that would be a useful tool, but I don't want to go through all the work of setting it up and integrating if there's not going to be a whole lot of data for our area. As
Yeah.
you said earlier, Grootbrak Rivier, there's not a whole lot happening.
That's they will be able to tell you, what is the amount of venues do they have on their system.
Okay.
Then,
so is it possible for you to connect us with them then, please?
yeah. Oh, and you can ask Costa. It's actually, well, I don't know for your area, but I think I will like this report. There is a this is free for Q2B clients. If you want more information, where they will show you the venue name, the rate that they sold at, and what's their occupancy, you start paying for the reports. But the free version is more than enough information that you need for your area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, no, perfect. Thank you.
So Costa sometimes takes a day or two to respond to an email. He travels worldwide, but he does respond eventually. Intro to Ilita. I'll just make a note, and then I'll introduce you to him. And he will also guide you. You can also go and look at the website. There's videos that shows you exactly what they do. So,
thank you.
And what we push towards them is just every night our server push towards them. If you belong to them, we push not your data, we just push your occupancy percentage towards them. If you sign up for the rate, we will push the rate that you sold at towards them. But no customer data or nothing is pushed towards them. So only the occupancy.
No, thank you.
And the RevPAR that we push towards them. So that is your STR. You can also do that. I would do that if I'm you. Then the logs. So we don't display all the logs here between the OTAs because they sync with each other every 3 seconds. Okay. So only if I pushed, you see, if I pushed information towards them, I'll display the logs in here. But we don't push. And if a booking came in, it will push it towards us. If we make a booking, it will push the information towards them. But we will not display every 3 seconds. It will become a nightmare for the venues with all the logs. Okay. And then action logs, that's also if there was an action that was required. So there I opt out of the profit room one. You see, now it says to me, retry. But there you don't really have to work. But if you do push information, Brendan, it's actually sometimes what I do. I come here to see if it did push through. Okay. And if I see an error or I say retry, I know I have to redo it again. So there's the IDs of those OTAs, and that's the category IDs, and you can see only 2 went through and then the rest I must retry. 1, 2, 3 was successful today. So, okay, I think that's everything I can show you and teach you on channel management. And then you can connect to your booking.com from here. Want to log into your booking.com.
Yep.
Okay, and do you know that the no-shows, how to mark the no-shows and stuff for booking.com?
We do it manually on bookings.com.
So
But if
you don't have to do it manually anymore. You can do it from Q to B. Okay, so let's say for instance this one, I'm not going to tick on it now. So there's all your information, your virtual credit card, when is it due, your expiration, exact, etc. All the information in here. If they don't pitch up and they don't come, you can just go action, click on no show.
Okay.
Okay, and then it will automatically notify booking.com that it's a no show. Okay, sync with booking.com. Then you can also come and sync and it will update booking.com. It will force the service with this booking to talk to each other. And you can also see all the customer messages in here. So if you want to, if you click on that message and you want to reply, a reply box comes up here. If this Ilse Rabi opened herself up for messages, a reply box comes up in here and you can reply directly to her from Q to B. So you can tick the no-shows from here and you can also see all the messages and reply back to them. So if the customer didn't open their message box for bookings.com, you will not be able to reply back from here, which is actually a very nice feature. And you don't have to go back to booking.com the whole time to mark them as no-shows.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else can I teach you in the next 15 minutes, Brendan?
No, I think from my side, that's pretty good. I don't know if Janice had more, but I think we've now covered most of the headings now. Yeah, I think there's still one or two things we need to do, like the breakdowns and the function sheets, and there's one or two things.
Yeah.
But yeah,
the most important is your breakdowns, so that your management report comes out with no problems on the health check. So let's do this for the last week. And if you do those breakdowns, you won't have any unallocated items, etc., unless a user typed a manual item in and they didn't allocate the item to a department. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you can always, if you do that, you can go action, health check. And there's all your items for that week that wasn't allocated. Okay, so it's rates. Your rates, you still have to go and do the splits. Price list items, it was selected from the price list, but it's got no splits on. That's your conference packages. Reservation lines could be lines that the user just added in, but they didn't allocate it to a department. Okay, so if you want to do it from here, you can also go bride dinner. Okay, there's the bride dinner, and that goes to food and bev. Save. Save. Exit. Go back to the report and do the next one, until your health check is complete. But your rates and those items are the most important for you. These are all lines that the user added without selecting a department where the revenue must go towards. Good. Any questions on that?
No, that's good. Thank you. So I don't know, Yanis, if you have any further questions.
No, I think that's good. Thank you.
Your
Henry.
occupancy looks good.
I think we're
Self-catering.
doing that.
Yeah, 75. Your average is 45. But yeah, you can immediately see your self-catering is not doing so well.
Mm.
It does the best in December.
Yeah. And the revenue per available room is also very important.
Mm.
So thanks, Henriette.
Okay. Guys, I'll put you in contact with Costa. If you, Brendan, if you need more help on that function sheet, I will send you those templates that I've set up for Qualata. And then you can maybe use some of that information. Maybe they go into very much so detail. Maybe you won't require all the detail, but it will give you some idea. Maybe you've got a current function sheet, which you can just go and set up in QTB then.
No, that's good. Thank you.
Okay. All right,
Thank
so
you.
I'll do the emails for you, and that's it then.
Thanks,
Right.
Henriette.
Okay, I'll send you the recording again.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you very much.
All
Thanks,
right.
Henriette.
Okay,
Thank you.
bye.
Cheers.
Bye.